Hey, what's up, everybody? Monty here. I just upgraded my computer. I got a 10900K with a Z490 Asus Maximus Hero Wi-Fi board. Just picked this stuff up from MicroCenter not too long ago. Anyways, I wanted to see how easy it was to overclock. So I did a 5.2 gigahertz overclock. 32 gigs of RAM also. I got the G-Skill Trident Z RGB. I believe it's a Samsung B-Die memory. It's C16 at 3600 megahertz. So I was just wanting to overclock and show you guys what it's like. So according to what I see online, just dial in my XMP, disable Asus multi-core enhancement. I put my AVX at -2. Sync all cores to 5.2, which is 52. Come all the way down. Got my RAM at 3600 megahertz. Keep going, keep going. I think DigiVGR, I did a CPU load line calibration number 4 is what shows recommended. And as you can see, right over on this side shows a prediction SP as 87 for my processor. So I think that there was some kind of scoring for the processors, what I've seen on the forums, but I'm not too familiar with it. But I have an 87. I think the liquid nitrogen LN2 or whatever it was overclocking record was maybe 117, but they said 63 and above or 67 and above is fine. If that means anything. The GVRM, yeah, so power management, they just said to max everything out. So I maxed the CPU core cache max, long duration max, short duration max. I guess it really doesn't matter for what I'm doing since I'm just sitting at a stable 5.2 the whole time. I'm not utilizing any of the turbo boost. Don't plan on doing any of that stuff. I just wanted a simple overclock. Set my cache ratio 43 to 47. When I had it at 48, I was getting crashes. 49, I was getting crashes, and I was also getting Windows hardware errors, the WHEA errors, WHEAA, and those pop up on hardware info 64. But anyways, core voltage is at 1.355. This is a manual mode, 135 for my DRAM as well. And I think that's pretty much. I don't think I have anything else in here that I could show you guys. Yeah, I don't have anything else I could show you guys. So this is what it looks like when it boots up. Alright guys, as you can see, I got hardware info right here. There's my Kraken CPU and GPU cooler. I have a CyberPower Pure Sine Wave. I believe it's an 810 watt battery backup UPS set up, so I can also see the live wattage that's being pulled from the system. You see, just sitting here idles 200 watts. There's my CPU Z, 5.2, 1.34 volts. Check memory. 3600, 16C, and there are my cores. There's my cooling. Alright, so I'm going to reset this. So I want to see what I get on Cinebench. Well, let's see what we get, and it's going to ramp up real loud for us too. I want to see what we get, because here is the computer. That's the computer, right? Spaghetti wires coming out that I need to fix. I have the Asus ROG PG279Q, by the way, if anybody's curious. Also, this keyboard's the cheap plastic Corsair. I believe it's K68. It was still $100 at MicroCenter, but it had RGB, which I wanted. First RGB keyboard. And this is just the Razer Naga. So that's what that is. Alrighty, so I want to see what I get when I run Cinebench. See, I already ran it, and I got 2711 already, but I want to see if I can get a better score. Yeah, I didn't really change anything. I'm just running this just because, but just to show you guys. So I'm going to hit run. You're going to watch everything shoot up. Now watch this. Boom. $400, that's it. Cinebench. 67C, 66, that's it. At 5.2. 5.2 still, yeah. That's it. So it goes to show you. I was reading everything online, and you know what everybody was saying? Everybody was saying this chip is too damn hot, waste of time, waste of money, garbage Intel, AMD, AMD for the win, all that, and whatever. I'd get AMD if I was a broke baller too, but we got that stimulus check in, so I went ahead and treated myself and got the 10 core. Why not? So that's 10 core. That's 10900K. 5.2 gigahertz, 1.355 volts in the V core, negative 2 AVX offset, CPU cache ratios at 47. I am using the brand new NZXT Kraken Z73. This was is $300, pretty expensive. So as you can see here, keeps everything ice cold, and the reason why you see it swapping faces like that, it's actually in the NZXT over here, and go to lighting, and you could change. Let me zoom you guys out some. You could change what you want to show. I have it showing carousel. So the carousel that I have showing is CPU temperature, GPU temperature, CPU megahertz. That's what I want to see. That's what I like seeing. I like being able, if I'm playing Call of Duty Warzone or whatever, I want to be able to just look right to the CPU block and see exactly what the temperature is, what my speed is, make sure everything's where it's just supposed to be at. And that's what I like. And also too, I just keep it at performance, but if you can hear anything, I'm going to put this silent. It is complete silence now. I can't hear anything. Put that back to performance. But as you can see, I'm not getting any more Windows errors. No more, right? And I'm going to scroll up. And we want to see. You see this UPS right here, right? UPS, that is reading the sensor data from my UPS system. This hardware info 64, as you can see, 413 watts is what I peaked at just by running a Cinebench test. That's half of what the UPS load is. As you can see, just fine. And I got, like I said, a 2691 score and a 2711 score with my processor, 10900K, 5.2 gigahertz. I checked everything else. Everything else seems to be working just fine. So 5.2. I also run a, we'll save that. It's and giggles, we'll run an Intel Extreme Utility. But no, I'm not running Prime 95. This doesn't mean anything. This is a waste of time. If you don't run Prime 95, then no, that's not stable. Your overclock's not stable, right? So this is an Intel Extreme Utility. I was actually looking on their website at the overclocking guide that they actually have. It's actually really informative. I didn't really think a whole lot about it. So I'm just running this benchmark real quick. And I'm okay with the fluctuation. I know I can go into turn off turbo boost and speed stop that from jumping, but I'm okay with where it's at. 4207 marks with the Intel Extreme Tuning Utility. I did the stress test. I did both of these for 5 minutes, and they both passed. So to me, I didn't see a need to do Prime 95. I also played hours on Warzone, so I didn't see a need to also, like I said, do that as well. Since everything is working fine, temp wise is it's super cold. It's really crazy just how cold it is. It doesn't even get hot. It's just, I mean, it gets warm, but it's not, I'm going off of all the armchair experts online, everybody online that said it was going to be hot. I don't see it's not hot for me. I watched a Jay's 2 cents video, and he's pretty much the one that convinced me to buy this cooler, this Z73 Kraken. Actually, I think he was doing the test with the Z63, which that would have worked fine too. But MicroCenter only had this one, and I felt like you know, why not go ham? Why not go hard? Why not get something good? And I went and got the Z73 at MicroCenter. Unfortunately, I forgot to price match and get $20 or $30 off at Amazon. It's because I was in a hurry. So, but as you can see here, yeah, it's working just fine. All right, let's see what our temperatures were playing Warzone for about 20 minutes or so. It's been about almost 20 minutes, as you can see here. And we can look through all the stats real quick. So this is what's interesting. So I'm only at 1440p, by the way. I'm at ultra settings, though. My physical memory, I've started using more. I only had 16 previous, so that's good that I upgraded for sure. So we can come down here. All right, my effective clock rate. Okay, what am I reading? There we go. I skipped it. It's 10900K. So I don't know exactly how accurate these voltage are. It looks to be about right though. I do have it set at 1355, so I don't know why it's showing that. But 522 the whole time. Average is 5, but it bounces between 449 and 52. Scroll down. This is my usage playing the game. Core cores. So one core I got 100%. These are my temperatures playing games, guys. So anybody that's wondering, those were my max CPU temperatures playing Warzone for 20 minutes. And I know it's 20 minutes is 20 minutes, but still. With this cooler, dude, this cooler rocks, man. I tell you what, the Kraken cooler, the Z73 is where it's at. I mean, it just, look at it. It just runs everything ice cold. And I only have, I'll pull this up so I can show you guys. I only have the performance on too, and it's ice cold. That's what's crazy. I came from a Corsair H, I think 115 or 110 or something. It was junk. You have products that come out that are just the standard, and that's just how it is. And I feel that way about Kraken, I feel that way about the NZXT. It's not that Corsair's bad per se. I like the software on Cam. I know everybody hates Cam. I don't know why. Works fine for me. I just click a little button here. I could turn everything silent. I like how it's all in one app. I don't have to have custom settings in the BIOS, custom settings on different kind of apps where I have everything just on by itself. I'd rather have it all just kind of like centralized, and thankfully this does it all for me. So Cam is good. I like this, and I keep the pump and fan all at performance. I did used to run the pump at 100% all the time, but just for the sake of the wear items of that pump, I just keep it on performance. I don't need to have it at 100% every time. If I'm just sitting at idle on the computer, browsing the web, it doesn't need to be at 100%. So you can see here, no thermal throttling. This shows some more juicy info. Shows me my temperature again. There's my memory. So really impressed by everything, really. Oh, and here's another thing too we could look at. We can look at, where are you at? Oh, there's my GPU also. So the reason why my graphics card looks a little goofy, you'll see probably in the beginning of this video. I do have a NZXT. I think it's a G12 bracket on here, and I have a NZXT. I think it's an X43 X something. It's a single radiator. I think it's a 140 mil. So I have this hooked directly up to the computer. I have this hooked directly to the GPU with the brackets, so my temperatures are like always cold on the graphics card as well. So you can see 59 on the graphics card was max. I like those low temps, and I know the computer looks super goofy, but it works. I could have got the EVGA cooler, but it was like $60 more than the setup that I was buying to cool it anyways, and I'm trying to be a little cheap. So anyways, so it shows 1750. It usually goes up to 1980 is typically, and then 2000 megahertz, but that's where it goes. I'm not overclocked on graphics. These are just the stock clocks. I think it's just a GPU boost. I do have the EVGA Black Edition, so there's that. It's a cheap one. It's $1,000, but it's still cheap, right? It's the cheapest one. So anyways, with the water block on there, with the Kraken on there, the cooler on the graphics card, that's what I get. I get about 1980 megahertz typically. So it's good enough performance for me. I don't think really the 100 megahertz is going to make a big difference for me. For 1440p gaming, I've noticed having everything on Ultra on mostly all the games I play. It's not that I don't get 165 frames because I'm on the PG279Q monitor, but it's not jumpy. It's stable over a certain frame. I'd say probably over 120 frames per second. It's stable where it's not that much of a fluctuation. But I want to get like 165. That's what I want to do. So anyways, just looking at this, 1950 megahertz. Now if we come down here to UPS where it says UPS, I'm going to scroll you guys down. Comes down to UPS. So it says my max usage on this. I'm at 5.2 gigahertz, guys. I don't know how many times I need to say this. I'm at 5.2. And since I'm at 5.2, everybody says this computer gets super hot. 10900K, terrible processor, way too hot. Well, as you can see, I'm showing you the results. 5.2, right? What does my UPS say? What does it say right there? 542 watts is what it pulled playing with a 2080 Ti and a 10900K. 542 watts. This does not lie. I also have this as well. The Cyber power panel says the same thing. So 542 watts pulling just for the tower. I have two NVMe drives in there. I got two all-in-one radiators in there, two 6 of RAM in there. I got the processor and the board. So that's what I'm pulling, 542 watts. I have a Corsair AX760i Platinum power supply. It's maybe about a year old. So I do got about 200 watts or so buffer, but still 542 watts at load playing Warzone. And Warzone's pretty demanding, having the graphics all on ultra, everything maxed out. So it does stress it out. But keep in mind, I'm not folding at home. I'm not mining Bitcoin. So there's no need to have my processor sitting at 100% load all the time. Same thing with Prime 95. My games are running fine. I'm not getting any more errors. No more blue screens. Everything's working fine. My benchmark scores are matching what others are online. I'm just checking out the benchmark score, so that tells me that my score is falls in line. My overclock falls in line with everybody else's, which means that it all seems fine. So that's just that ends today's video. Like I said, that's the 10900K. Hope you enjoyed it. If you guys were curious what it was like, was it going to be too hot? Were you going to have to crank the voltage up way too high just to get 5.2? I just did a couple things as you've seen, and I got 5.2. I'm not an expert on this. I'm not DeBauer. I'm not Linus. I'm not any of those guys. I'm just a regular old guy in the Midwest. But as you can see here, I'm getting 5.2. I just want to play the game. I want to get max frames. That's all I care about. And as you can see here with low temperatures, that's just where it's at. But anyways, hope you guys enjoyed the video.